The Charlamagne Internship. This is a true story. I'm sure you've heard of the Stark Internship with Spider-Man and Iron Man, but this is the story of a guy that took a risk, went through adversity, and had a godlike miracle. My story starts here. Charlamagne had heard me rap to him on my first time going to New York City. I rapped to him and he tweeted about me and put me on his Twitter. And from then on, we had a really good relationship, and he started to embrace me with open arms. He started to shout me out on the radio, and also, not even just that, he started inviting me to comedy shows and events that he was doing. That night, he invited me to a comedy show for the first time. And so I went out there, but then I got the news that my grandma had passed away. So when my grandma had passed away, I had to put everything on pause. It was the first time I had lost somebody in my life, so I felt very like a sense of sorrow, and I had to put everything on hold and went back home. The next year, Charlamagne actually invited me up to the radio station for the first time, to my surprise. I had no idea what for or what he was gonna ask me to do, but I had a whole speech ready saying I wanted him to help me with my rap career. And so, with that being said, he actually brought me into rap for his coworker, DJ Envy. He says, "Nino, rap for DJ Envy right now." And I'm not gonna lie, I was a little nervous. I had 2 hours of sleep, but I had 2 verses in my mind that I was gonna rap for him, and I had just barely made it through. Redemption the next year happened for me. Charlamagne brought me again to the radio station to rap for his IG Live fans and just for himself to see if I could do better this time around. And I did. I pulled out a speaker and I nailed it, hit it right out the park. The next year, he started to invite me up to the station again to his podcast that he had. And since we were gaining a bit of a friendship, I finally gained the courage to ask Charlamagne God if I could have an internship with him directly in New York City. And he said yes. So then what I did was I told my job, I put in my 2 weeks, I quit, packed up all of my stuff in a Nissan Versa car for bicycle, and I drove all the way to New York City and even left the girl I was talking to back home. So I took a big risk and I went to New York City, and then I didn't get the internship because Charlamagne was going through his own personal battles. So we agreed I could be mentored for him for 4 months, but not an official school internship. So I started to roam around New York City from station to station. But then nothing was really going my way. I kind of felt like I was in New York City for no reason at all. I felt like I was just losing myself to everything that I had dreamed and hoped for through Charlamagne. And I just felt like a great sense of loss. And also, to make matters worse, I ended up losing my car and my apartment within a span of 3 days. I was homeless on the street of New York City, and I was sleeping in Port Authority bus terminal in a sleeping bag, and also sleeping in the gym of Planet Fitness locker room. Then my grandparents came to visit me on my birthday. They knew what was going on in my life, but they really had no way to help me. They were from Peru, and they were just there for my birthday. So I made a wish on my cake at Dave & Buster's, and was just hoping for something, a miracle to happen. And it did. I get a text that Kanye West was going to be 9 minutes walking away from where I was picking up my sleeping bag from. And it helped me tremendously. I rapped for Kanye West, and he ended up liking me. And Charlamagne even gave him my blessing and told him that I was a good kid. So what Kanye West did was he put me on his Instagram and his Twitter, and we ended up going viral together. We were all over the news, we were all over every single media outlet, and every single person was reaching out to me from my past to my future. As you can see right here, we were in Complex magazine. Also, through this viral media outlet, we were going through different things in our life. As far as he was going with an album that he said he had coming out at midnight. So he brought me in the studio, showed me this unreleased album called Yanni. And so he said, I want you to rap on these beats that I have available for you. So what I did was I went in the studio, I listened to everything, and I then came to this hotel called the Mercer where Kanye was staying at. They had me work on different music for his album, but then Kid Cudi had to use that specific room because apparently they recorded Watch the Throne with Jay-Z in that room. It's a very special room. And so we moved over to a different studio called Germano Studios, where they recorded My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, where I then had the chance to record the 3 more Kanye West records. And it was just one incredible experience that really helped me out for my dream. So I got to work on this Kanye West album, 5 songs, changed my life by taking a risk and by just going through my adversity, and also, like I said, a godlike miracle. Charlamagne, thank you so much for the opportunity and the Charlamagne Internship. Thank you so much.
That's so good. Is that a true story?
Oh yeah, it's a true story.
Really?
Yeah. I'm not gonna have to do